Welcome to Every Woman Has a Story on WEBN. Our next guest has dedicated her life to activism and serving underprivileged children in West Africa. We spoke with Oumou Cherif to find out where her passion originated and what's next for her. Thank you for joining us today, Oumou.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's dive right into this. At what point in your life did you realize that you wanted to be a social entrepreneur?
That's a really good question. I would say ever since I was a child, I've always had compassion for helping others, and what really became a motive was just me seeing how children was struggling in Guinea as far as like not being able to afford school, well, their parents not being able to force, school fees to like send them to school, or seeing kids running around barefoot, all those things. I think it came to the point where seeing how people live their life and how different my life was compared to theirs really was a shock to me, and I felt like at some point I must do something about it. And it just took those incidents to occur in order for me to really feel like, hey, somebody got to do something.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Well, so you grew up in Kindia.
Yeah, I grew up in Kindia,
Guinea, which is in West Africa.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about your childhood. You mentioned how it's you grew up differently from other children that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me how it was for you.
Well, I grew up differently, like I said. My mom lived here for a little while, and my dad was out of town as well, in Madagascar. I lived with my grandmother, and I was spoiled my entire life. I never had to go to public school. I started school very young, actually, and all my life I was in private school until I came to the U.S. in 2003. So, it's just the simple fact that my parents cared so much about my education, and they were just like ready to invest anything in order for me to get the education that I needed. As of other kids, their parents were more concerned about, providing food and shelter for them, because of course they didn't have both needs. So.
And what are some of the things that you miss about Guinea?
I miss the food. I miss the food, and I miss my family. I just miss that family moment, where in the U.S. you don't really get much of that. My mom is always working, and we barely have time to like have dinner together. It's always like one-on-one sometimes, but not all the time. Yeah.
Okay. And so you moved in 2003. At that point in your life, what were some of the goals that you set for yourself coming here?
Well, definitely to get a higher education and to go back and make a difference in Guinea. But my main passion was education. It still remains out, because of course I have to educate myself in order to continue with my progress with CEA. And another thing was to really get involved and learn more about other leaders in the diaspora here, because I feel like at just a young age I've always been driven. I've always had few leadership qualities that I gained from my parents, of course, because they were always like strong people. They always fought for what they believed in. And being in America, I just wanted to take advantage of every opportunity that was here, because I've heard so many times how America is like the end of opportunity. So I figured some of my dreams will come true, and CEA happened to be one of them. Right. Being enrolled out of college, well, from middle school, high school, and then out of college was definitely a big impact in my life. And
That's great. And what did you study in college?
I went to Quincy College, where I studied paralegal. I gained my associates in paralegal actually this year, and I currently enrolled at UMass Boston studying human services.
Wow, yeah, that's impressive.
Thank you so much.
So you previously described yourself as a compassionate person. You're very selfless. Who in your life would you say has influenced those characteristics?
My mother. My mom was just a beautiful person in and out. She's very caring. I remember being back home, other than just like sending money for my school fees or whatever. She also took care of the entire family. My mom was the kind of woman that everyone depended on, everyone in the family. Because of course, when you have a family member in the U.S., a lot of times they do think that you have a lot of money,
right.
Which she don't. She's a hardworking person. She works hard a lot. And not only that, she believes in giving when she works hard. She doesn't believe in just keeping it to herself. And that was one of the things that I truly admire about her and still admire about her. And I wish to be nothing more than her, you know?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about your nonprofit organization, the Children's Education Alliance.
Yeah, definitely. Well, CEA is a nonprofit organization that supports underprivileged children in Guinea, specifically in Kindia. So what we do is provide educational tools, small as just a pencil and a notebook, and that goes back to my previous point, how I've witnessed kids, not having those opportunities, whether it was school fees or even having a pen or pencil to sit in class and pursue their education. So that's where, CEA's idea sort of like came from. That's where my passion came from. That's what motivated me to start CEA, just to provide necessary needs that, kids truly need to continue with their education.
And a small step does indeed go a long way.
Of course, yeah, it really does. It really does.
So what are some of the challenges you faced as you began to develop your organization?
Well, I will say balancing my personal life, school, and of course the leadership life as far as like CEA. At some point it was really hard because I found myself in the middle of like working on a project or communicating with my coordinator in Guinea, and I have homework to do, and I gotta run errands for my mom, but I think all it takes is determination. It takes a lot of patience as well. When you're doing these things, you sort of have to just go for it. You don't think about the challenges because those come along, but it is supposed to be challenging. Anything that's worth having, where CEA of course is worth having, is so wonderful. Just to work with a group of compassionate young adults like myself, just fighting for a cause that's truly important to all, because education is everything. It is the best weapon, like Mandela had once said, rest in peace. So yeah. Okay.
And so did you have any advisors or mentors to help you along the way?
Yeah, definitely. I have mentors, Sarankaba Jones from of Face Africa. That's a nonprofit organization as well that advocates for clean water. And I have another mentor, Natasha Guet. She has a nonprofit organization as well that's based on empowering young African adults, and her organization name is US Africa Synergy. And I have Isia too as well, who's another mentor. And the fourth one is my mom, her being first, of course, but my mom is like the best mentor, because she's the one that hears me out, any time of the day or night, because it does get frustrating at times. Like I said, just balancing life, school, and everything, but all these four ladies definitely are the greatest gift ever.
Yeah, you're pretty fortunate to have them. So, you work with a team, correct?
Yeah, I work with a team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how did you first encourage people to join and support the CEA initiatives?
I'll say it was a little challenging at first, because being young and coming out where there's like tons of other nonprofit organizations that are way bigger than mine, I was struggling with sort of like convincing people. At some point it did work out though. I went to different high schools first. That's where I started, starting with my high school BCLA, where I graduated from Boston Community Leadership Academy. Did a presentation there, with students and stuff, just let them know about the organization. So I just went around, you know, letting the words out, attending fundraiser events and stuff. But it was still, you know, little challenges in between, concerning the fact that I pretty much had to prove myself. You know, being young again could be really tough at times. There's good advantages and there's bad ones as well. When you're young, people tend to support you a lot more. I have a lot of people who just, you know, they're always there, you know, because they know I'm still in the learning process. I'm still trying to get on their level, so they encourage me a lot, which is awesome. But also at times when you have a young person in this journey, you know, you kind of wonder, is she really serious? So those were some of the challenges I had to face, but all it took was for me to really believe in myself and, you know, just believe in what I do and just go with that. Okay.
And so finally in 2012 you had your first fundraiser.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
My first fundraiser, I still remember like it was yesterday. I was really nervous at first. I mean, here I go, you know, just a young girl starting this initiative, you know, and I really had to gain people's trust, of course. But the event really went great. We had about 50 people. They came in and I just presented CEA's mission to them, did a quick presentation just for them to understand where my heart was and where I was coming from and what I'm trying to achieve and stuff. And the crowd was very nice. They were very I mean, they just wanted to support me right away, you know, based on my presentation and everything else that went on. And it seemed like they cared about Africa as much as I do, and that's the most beautiful thing, to have a group of audience that isn't only there to listen, but to actually, you know, relate to your story and wanting to like fight for a cause that's important to you as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And so have you had another fundraiser since then?
Yeah, I had another fundraiser back in September 2013. That was a bigger one, actually. I mean, more people came. We raised about $1,100. So I met my goal, which was really exciting. 2013, I told myself that by the end of 2014, I will sponsor over 1,000 kids with school supplies, notebook and pencil, and thanks to the supporters and everyone who showed up at that event, that was possible.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And so I'm just curious, what are some of the steps, planning, that you need to go through to put together these fundraisers?
Well, it takes a lot, but thanks to the most hardworking team and volunteers. Because first of all, even like to get a hall and all that stuff for the event could be a lot stressful because it does cost money, but it's all about the team coming together, and all of us are young and talented, just, you know, putting all those talents together and making it the best. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about some of the people on your team.
People on my team, they're awesome. I work with a guy named Taylor. Taylor is a good friend of mine. He's sort of like our media person, like as far as like pictures and stuff. I work with a friend named Nadine as well. Nadine is on the administrative side, and she's more involved with like event planning and stuff. And myself, I'm just all over the place working with them. And I recently started working with a very, very young, hardworking guy called Mohamed Toure. He's my consultant, actually, and he's been like everything I wish for. He believes in CEA and the mission, and you know, he's been working with nonprofit organizations in the past as well. So you know, I mean, it's just incredible when because he lives in Washington actually, but when we do our Skype meetings and stuff, you know, he's always involved, and it just, I mean, my team is just incredible because they truly believe in the mission statement that we have written down on the website, which is pretty awesome. It's amazing to work with a group of individuals who believe in what you do, you know, and that's where all the energy comes from.
Yeah. And so your work, most of your work is currently based in Guinea.
Yeah.
Do you at any point plan to expand to different countries across the continent, the world?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely do plan on going all over. In the mission, we do mention Africa, and we said a little about Guinea, but I'm just like trying to focus on Guinea right now, considering the fact that pretty much that's where I'm from, and I know more about the country than the rest of the countries, but definitely I will definitely go around the nation. That's my goal.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
And so you have developed relationships with schools across Kindia.
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about how you developed those relationships and where they are now.
Well, I have a great coordinator back home, Ibrahim. He sort of like do a lot of research as far as like the schools that need the supplies the most. So he goes around different areas just to like talk to the directors of the school to tell us a little about their needs and stuff. So it kind of helps me. One school though that I feel truly connected with is Wendy Primary School. My mom graduated from that school. My uncles, my aunts, my entire family graduated from that school. So that truly felt like home, you know, and it feels really great to give back where you were raised. And I felt like Wendy was literally like across the street from where I lived. It wasn't that far. And it was just really great to know that my team could make a difference over there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so do you often go back to kind of see the progress you're making, or is that something that you track from over here?
It's something that I track from over here for now, but I truly do plan on going back very soon. But of course, I'm in school now, and I have a lot of things going on here as well. But I will be there definitely at the right time.
And so has it been a little challenging to, follow up with the progress there, seeing how far away you are?
Yeah, it's a little difficult, but thank God for Skype. It's pretty awesome. Thank God for Skype. And I do call my coordinator as well. We communicate over the phone, emails, and Skype. So that goes along pretty well. And I truly trust the coordinator there. He's as passionate as the rest of us here, and he's just very hardworking. And again, he believes in the mission statement as well, and that's what makes the job easy.
And have you had any feedback from, let's say, the parents, the children you're helping?
Yeah, it's always, I get emails all the time from the school directors. They're just like really happy. They're very appreciative, which I really love about people who work at the school there, and the kids too. When you go on a website, you actually see photos and like how these kids are smiling. It's just an incredible feeling. It's truly an incredible feeling, and that makes our job so much easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any new projects that you're currently working on?
Yes, I have new ones coming up, but it's a secret.
Okay.
But I'll tell you. I'll share the secret with you maybe.
Okay.
Well, my goal before September, this is a secret, right? My goal before September is to raise about 5,000 notebooks and pencils. I'm really excited about that. It's a new campaign that I'm working on right now, and it should be out soon on a website and Facebook and all the social media.
That's wonderful. And are you going to do, I don't know how much you can tell me, but is this going to be done through donations? Or are you going to have another fundraiser?
Actually, this is going to be very different.
Okay.
This is going to be, I'm thinking about having I'm thinking about just having opportunity, to even get kids involved. Yeah, so my goal is to go around different high schools or colleges and just ask everyone to give me one pencil and one notebook. That's it.
Wow.
Just one pencil would just be there in front of you.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
just
so original.
one pencil and one notebook. That's it. No money, no nothing. Just one pencil and one notebook.
That's great.
Let's see how many people we could reach out to.
And have you had any previous experience in nonprofit work?
Yeah,
before
I
this?
have. I have volunteered for different nonprofit organizations like Brazilian Immigrant Center and AK Foundation, Progressive Organization for the Women of Africa, and like a few more. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, those definitely helped me a lot in the long run.
Yeah, and did it teach you anything about how to run something like this?
Yes, because I mean, those people I worked with are the most hardworking people ever, and it's just so incredible to just seeing them do what they do. And one thing I have learned from them is to believe in what you do, and you just see it through their work. You just see it right through, when you see them working, when you see their work, or when you visit their website, just the ways they talk about the organization, you can just tell that they believe in the mission so much. And, I learned from that, and ever since, CA has been everything. It has been something that I truly believe in and see myself pursuing for a very long time.
That's good. And
Yeah.
what other qualities would you say a young, driven person who wants to start a nonprofit should have?
I will say to have a very clear vision of how you want the nonprofit to sort of be, years from now, to be very mindful of obstacles that might come around as well, as far as like taking no for no. Just accepting the fact that people will reject you, but it doesn't mean that you will give up. So that's where having a clear vision sort of like comes in. When your vision is clear and it makes sense to you, there's no way someone else could discourage you. So I think that's very important. And it's very important to be patient as well. It takes hard work and dedication to truly get the right outcome, and you just have to be patient for that. You just have to keep pushing and just keep doing what you believe in doing, because it all comes from the heart. Once it comes from the heart, it's so much easier to just roll with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you talked about dealing with rejection. I want to ask you, how have you personally dealt with rejection in the past?
I'll say trying to get my youth involved. There's a time when I met this kid who I loved his work. I loved everything, he was about, and I really wanted him to get involved with CEA, because when I was actually searching for people, not like searching, but like really, because I go to fundraiser events, I go to different events a lot, and I meet other young people, and when I notice that they're talented and they're passionate and compassionate about certain things, I would like to get them involved, because with CEA, I've always dreamed of just like working with young people. I love youth involvement. It's just something that makes me truly happy. But unfortunately, the young men didn't want to work with CEA at the moment, because he had other projects as well. But I did understood it, because he had his own, projects going on as well. But, things like that, that's really not a rejection. That's kind of like, it's not, it's like not the right time right now, which is okay. But like, I think as far as like asking for a pencil, for example, pencil, notebook, or donating, a lot of times people don't want to donate, which is okay. You can always convince them, and you just have to show them through your work that you deserve their donation. So it's something that you could easily overcome. Yeah. Okay.
And to date, tell me about one of your proudest moments, since you started the CEO. What's made you tick? Tell me something.
Well, I'll say raising that much money to provide school supplies for over 1,000 kids in just like little period of time, literally just like one night, that really brought a lot of emotions. happy emotions though, because you know, there's nothing more amazing than having a goal and having people around who believe in those goals and who help you achieve those goals. It's just an incredible feeling. And after sending those supplies and just the beautiful smiles on those kids' face truly just made the job easier. It just made me so proud of myself and my team. I mean, it's just an incredible feeling to know that a pencil could make a difference in a child's life. You know, I mean, just a pencil and a notebook.
Right.
You know, so I'll say.
Just curious, do you have any family? I know that you have family in Kindia. Are they by any means involved in the CEA?
Yes, my coordinator is actually my cousin, Ibrahim Cherif. Yeah, he's one of my family members, and yeah.
Okay, and so where do you see the CEA in about 10 to 20 years?
10 to 20 years from now. I see us having our own school and just touching lives, you know, just more lives, because there are a lot of students who haven't yet benefited from our program, and my goal is to just go all over, you know, all over Guinea, beyond Guinea, everywhere in Africa, definitely, yeah.
And how can people learn about your organization?
Well, we do have a website, and they can go to www.africacea.org, www.africacea.org.
Okay. Yeah. And so I want to talk a little bit about your personal life. So you're doing all this great stuff in the professional sphere.
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about what a typical weekday is like for you.
A typical weekday. I love to read. I love to read a lot. And of course, social media. CEA sort of got me into the whole social media thing. I'm still trying to deal with Twitter. I'm not too good with that. But I love to read, and I love to hang out with friends. But I'm very just laid back and reserved. I love grabbing coffee. It's one of my favorite things.
Useful.
So instead of going to the club, I rather grab coffee and you know.
And who are some of the writers that have inspired you?
Some of the writers, wow, that's Maya Angelou. She remains my favorite always, always, always.
And
she just I mean, what is there not to like about her? She's just amazing. She's so inspirational. And it's just a simple fact that when she speaks, you just feel it through you. And I'm all about what comes from the heart, and her work truly does come from the heart.
And finally, what do you hope to do with the degree that you have, your associate's degree, and what you're studying now?
Who am I studying?
Will that play into the CEA?
Yeah, I totally want to go to law school at some point, but I also love being on the path of social entrepreneurship. Yeah, I truly love it, because it's just an incredible feeling when you could just lay your head and just know that you made a difference in somebody's life. And you know, I just want to be remembered as a girl who, you know, made something out of herself and then gave back, you know, to where it needed to be, which is Guinea, where I'm from, because I truly do love my country. It made me who I am today. And
so what you do is quite a huge task. You have a lot to do. Do you ever get nervous at any point with what you do?
Yeah, I do get nervous a little. I do get nervous about just putting the right work out there. Whether it's planning an event, I have to make sure everything goes right, because of course people do tend to respect you based on what they see and what they hear, and you know, through the work you do. So it's really important to always put your all into it and always keep it professional. So yeah, I do get nervous. Yeah.
Just keep working on yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Oumou, thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you
It was
so
a pleasure
much.
to have you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you so much.
What an inspiring interview. Thank you for watching Every Woman Has a Story on WEBN. We spoke with Oumou Cherif. If you would like to be a guest on our show or know anyone who would like to tell us their story, please email us at ewhastory@gmail.com. I'm Eunice Onwona.